Welcome to this video. I am so happy you're here. In this video, I'm going to teach you a very natural expression that's going to help you sound like a native English speaker. How awesome is that? Because here's something that I've noticed. So I've been working with students for a long time. And even my most advanced students that use very grammatically correct expressions, advanced vocabulary, they just don't sound like my friends. They don't sound like my coworkers. They don't sound like TV and movies. And why is that? It's because students use different language than native English speakers use. It's because native English speakers use idioms, phrasal verbs, and expressions, but students use direct translations from their native language, right? So let's fix that. Let's fix that by teaching you a very natural expression that you can use right now to sound more fluent and natural in English. Of course, my name's Jennifer from j4english.com, and this channel is dedicated to helping you sound like a fluent, confident English speaker. So let's get started with today's video. Now first, I'm going to test your listening skills. I'm going to say the natural expression 3 times in a sentence. And I want you to write down exactly what you hear word for word. And then after, I'll tell you exactly what I said, and I'll explain how you can use this expression in your daily vocabulary. All right, let's get started. All good on my end. All good on my end. All good on my end. That was very quick, right? It's a short expression, that's why. So you should be happy about that. It's very easy to add to your vocabulary. So here's what I said very slowly. All good on my end. And this sounded like all good on my end. Okay, so the expression that I'm going to teach you is on someone's end, okay? And of course, the someone in my sentence is me, right? My, because it's possessive. On my end, on someone's end. Okay. So first, in order to explain what this means, I'm just going to give you the context because this is an expression. And in order to understand expressions fully, you need context. So the context is, I'm in a meeting with my boss and my colleagues. And at the end, my colleague who's presenting at this meeting, he asked everyone in the room, does anyone have any questions, comments, issues, or concerns? And then he goes to everyone, looks around, he gets to me, and I want to reply, no, I don't. So I can do this by saying all good. That was the first part of my example sentence, all good, which just means everything is okay. I can say everything's all good, but I can just shorten that to all good. All good. All good on my end. All good on my end. So in this context, it's like I'm saying everything is okay with me. So on my end can be translated roughly as with me. All good on my end. Now this is such a common expression. You can use it in so many different scenarios. So let me give you a very common one that you could probably use. Let's imagine that you're having a Skype call with two of your colleagues. Your colleagues are Mary and Bill, okay? So you're having this Skype call. You start the call at 9 o'clock and you say hello to everybody, but then Bill says, "Oh no, I can't hear you." So there's a problem with Bill's audio. This happens all the time, right? With conference calls, Skype calls, Zoom calls, there's a problem with audio issues. So there's a problem with Bill's audio. But now you and Mary, you're not sure if the problem is with Bill, the problem is with Mary, or the problem is with you. So you might say like, "Hey Mary, can you hear me?" And she says, "Yeah, I can hear you just fine." So now you know the problem is not on Mary's end. Not on Mary's end, okay? So I'm turning this expression in the negative. The problem is not on Mary's end. And remember, this is possessive, on someone's end. So it's on Mary's end. She owns that end, okay? So make sure you have that S, on Mary's end. So the problem is not on Mary's end. The problem is not on your end because you can hear Mary, she can hear you, so there's no problem with your audio. The problem is not on your end. Your is already possessive, right? So we don't need an S. Your, my, their, her, already possessive. So the problem is not on your end. So the problem is on Bill's end. Bill's, possessive. The problem is on Bill's end. So of course, this is a very good way, a great expression where you can determine where the problem is. Oh, on my end, I can hear you just fine. Mary's end, her audio is fine. It's Bill's end. Bill has the problem. So remember our rough translation. The problem is with Bill, okay? So we can use this expression on someone's end in many different contexts. At the beginning we saw you can use it with a Q&A. No questions on my end. No issues on my end. Oh, sorry, I didn't hear you. Was there a question on your end? So very common to use in meetings. Now we can also use this with technical issues to understand where the problem is when you're interacting with all these different devices, programs and services and people in remote locations. And another very common way you can use this expression is when you're scheduling something with someone. So for example, you might say, "We had to reschedule the meeting because there was a problem on the client's end." There was a problem on the client's end, okay? And this is really important because you understand where the problem originates, where the scheduling conflict originates. Because let's say your meeting is with 10 different people and you might not understand why it was rescheduled, what the issue was. But if someone just says, "Oh, there was a scheduling conflict on the client's end," then you understand, oh, okay, so when I go to reschedule the meeting, I need to check with the client to see what their availability is. So very useful when you're scheduling. Oh, on my end, I'm free on Friday. Does that work on your end? Now, for pronunciation, I don't think there's much going on that I need to explain. We just have on someone's end. Probably just at the very beginning, it was a little bit difficult because I said it quite quickly. All good on my end, on my end. So the sounds kind of blend together. So you can practice saying these three sounds together, but there's not much changes taking place in terms of linking or reduction because they are already very short words. It might be just making sure you get that S, bills and. So notice you would link there with an S, and the end would link. Bills and, Mary's and, the client's and. So you might want to practice that for linking. Now, really, with expressions, context is key. So I explained 3 different contexts that are the most natural. IT issues, Q&A, and scheduling, okay? That's not the only context that you're going to use this expression, but it's definitely the most common. So make sure you practice. The way you're going to get comfortable with these expressions is by practicing them. So try writing an example sentence below for each of the 3 different contexts. And I hope there's no issues on your end with this new expression. All right, awesome. So now you have a very natural expression that you can add to your vocabulary in so many different contexts, and you know how to use it and say it naturally. Woohoo! Now, before you go, make sure you head on over to my website and download this free speaking guide, where I share 6 tips to help you feel confident speaking English in public. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribe. And until next time, happy studying. Woohoo! You're awesome! Thanks so much for watching this video, but why stop now? You can check out this video. And don't forget about this video. And make sure you subscribe. You rock! Bye!